News with Gina.
The news with Gina Grad.
Well, things are not going well for Ron Jeremy. And there is a very good chance he may never see the outside of a prison cell again. He has been charged Monday with 20 additional sexual assault counts involving 12 women and a teen girl that date back to 2004. That's according to the LA County District Attorney's Office. The complaint against Jeremy, who earlier pleaded not guilty to 3 alleged rapes, includes 5 counts of forcible rape and lewd conduct with a 15-year-old girl. He pleaded not guilty to the additional charges. He's 67 now. He was ordered to return to court in October when a date for a preliminary hearing is expected to be scheduled. The LA County Sheriff's Department said a 2-year investigation led to these charges. And if convicted to the initial charges, not these new ones, the initial charges, Jeremy could face a potential maximum sentence of 90 years to life in state prison.
I saw something that said 250 years behind prison walls.
That might be combined.
I saw a couple of pictures of Ron, and he's in now, right? I mean, he's.
Yeah, we have a picture if you want to see it.
I will say this: you got the whole thing about dudes with long hair. First off, it's not good for prison because especially the dudes who dye their hair and wear it long. At some point, when you hit 60, just get out the clippers, man. Because you can't keep it up. Because what happens is your hair is long, but it gets really thin because you're losing your hair, and then you have to dye it, and now it's like wildly aesthetically unpleasing. But okay,
you think that's his biggest problem?
I'd say the just for men part is the biggest problem. It's also, I wonder, like about a guy like that. He has sex with so many women, so many young, nubile women his entire career. Like, I mean, that guy just is having sex all throughout. Even in his 60s, he's starring in porns with 22-year-old girls. What if he kind of gets this sort of sense like he can just do whatever he wants? You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't that's all he's been doing is just banging everyone all the time for the last 50 years or 40 years. Also, yeah. Anyway. All right, Ron. See ya. Sad. But what are you going to do? And then was he accused of drugging them? Was that the big deal? Was that the original one that he was drugging women? I thought that was the first one, this whole drugging part of the story. Well, anyway, I'll let you carry on, but I thought that was
all right. Yeah, Chris, if you wouldn't mind looking into that, we'll move forward. Satirical French newspaper, and this might trigger your memory because we haven't talked about it in a while. We haven't need to. Charlie Hebdo. That was a big headline.
They're still around?
Yep, 2015. The target of a 2015 massacre by Islamic extremists will republish cartoons of the Prophet Muhammad to coincide with the start of the trial for the terror attack. The 2015 attack left 12 people dead when gunmen swarmed Charlie Hebdo's office, killing 11 employees and a policeman. In the following days, additional attacks left 5 more people dead until 3 attackers were killed in shootouts with police. 14 people charged with providing assistance to the gunmen are scheduled to go on trial over the killings. That begins as we read this. The cartoons that depicted the Prophet Muhammad often lampooned Islamic radicals. The cover of the issue, and we have, I mean, I
these
pulled
guys
up just a
have
bunch
fucking
to
balls, man.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, because I think about that, like radical Islam.
You pull those up.
Ultimately, bottom line is people are scared. They're mostly scared. You know, if you are like let's just say you're some celebrity male and you're some big dude and somebody talks shit about you and you saw him at a cocktail party and you punched him in the face, right? People would talk much less shit about that guy. That's just how we're wired. That's how it works. And if it is in fact precedent of you go ahead and make fun of our faith, we will come in and slaughter you in your work. I mean, it's been wildly effective. Like people talk about like a respect for Islam, but there's no skewering. they're really they don't lampoon Islam. Like, we really don't. Like, people are like, I don't want to fucking get shot. I mean, if you think about in a world where everything is open and we make fun of everybody all the time and nothing is really off the table, certainly in terms of religion and that kind of stuff, people keep walking with Islam. Like, if there is a small chance that you could get Charlie Hebdo headquarters kind of thing, people are like, fuck it, I'm not saying anything. And it works.
Yeah, you're right. And talk about having balls. Here's a quote from Charlie Hebdo director Laurent Cerisou. He says, all the reasons that could be argued against us, like publishing these, are political or journalistic cowardice. Do we want to live in a country that prides itself on being a great, free, and modern democracy, and which at the same time gives up on asserting its deepest convictions? For our part, it's out of the question. It's out of the question, except to live in another country, another regime, another world.
Well, I rarely say this, but that Frenchman is a hero. Anne has balls, man. Yeah. God bless you guys. No reports of drugs with Ron, but accusations of taking advantage of drunk women, which is not the same as what I was saying. You got Gene Hackman and Kim Guilfoyle mashup ready? Sorry.
That wasn't enough. Acres wasn't. Now this girl.
Leaders and fighters for freedom and liberty and the American dream.
You want another life? Then take me!
The best is yet to come.
Oh,
well, there you go.
Speech.
I know it's been done many times, but
same vigor.
Why not? Why not mash it up one more time?
Well done.
Yeah.
So there is a new TV show coming out about a woman that I am completely obsessed with as of this morning, and we have to get her on the show. An undercover FBI agent became an actress on a CW teen drama, Riverdale. Now they're making a TV series about her secret double life. Check this out. On primetime TV, Marisol Nichols plays the mother of Riverdale's Veronica, but during the day, Marisol Nichols hunts child sex predators. She has all this stuff going on when she's not filming. She volunteered to act as bait to sting international traffickers for the FBI's Operation Underground Railroad. She plays the part of parents pimping out children to sell them into these underground sex trafficking situations. They said in certain situations she also plays the child. I don't know how that works, but she also plays the parent. Nichols, who's also set to star in Lionsgate's Saw reboots called Spiral next year, has participated in numerous child sex stings around the world over the last few years. The TV series is going to tell her story. It's called Hollywood Vigilante. Marisol participated in 6 successful stings around the world. Her motivation to volunteer for the FBI stems from a rape at age 11. She says, it changed the entire trajectory of my life in a day. And now she goes after these dudes when she's not on set at Riverdale.
So she's an actress who moonlights with the FBI.
Correct.
I thought it was an FBI agent that cast on the show.
Well, she's considered an FBI undercover agent.
Damn.
I saw a tweet. Somebody opened up a house and said, like, free sex with a minor, and just tons of dudes showed up.
That's like your cockfight.
Yeah, free cockfight for Raiders fans only, though, so catch the deadbeat dads. But it is appalling to me. And as I was looking at the list, the picture of the guys that showed up to the house, it was like young and old, black and white, rich and poor. Like, this is this huge cross-section of dudes, and there was no theme other than horrible dudes who wanted to have sex with young people. And it's sad that there's this much of this going on, that this much exists. Like, this is a thing in 2020. Well,
yes. To that point, they showed up to this sting operation not knowing. You could say, like, oh, how do they not know? There must be things like this that actually happen, that go down where, no pun intended, where like the guys actually show up and there's some action. Otherwise, why would you ever show up to one of these?
Oh, yeah. Like any good sting operation, like free cockfight for Raiders fans at the Coliseum. Like, you're not going to attract anyone who's like, what's a cockfight? I don't know. I mean, you have to be a fan of the genre. Like, you need to have attended. You know what I mean? So whatever they put out, I don't know what it was, Max, about it. I just kind of, it's so depressing.
The things I'm Googling is definitely going to get me flagged.
You're absolutely going to have a visit.
It's totally depressing to drill down on that stuff. Like, I didn't want to read the story. It's so sad. But it just showed a picture of all these guys. I was like, oh, it looks like there's one of everybody here.
Well, which just makes it more disgusting. I just finished we just talked about it on Teresa and my podcast, Easy Listening, about the Long Island serial killer. And the thing that made that interesting is because it was about killing sex workers and prostitutes. So nobody gave a shit until enough of them piled up that it was like, now we have a story. And they interviewed this girl named Kritzia. And this is from, the last however many years, where she's like, I was in New York. I was a runaway. I went to this guy's car in broad daylight in the middle of Times Square because he was going to give me money so I could go get food. They knocked me over the head. The next thing I knew, I'm in Florida in a house where they give you a rating. They dress you up. The guys really like the 9-year-olds the best. And like, that's your life now until you escape. It's mind blowing.
It's also, I mean, I don't know what the hell we do with sexuality because it's strong. You know what I mean? Like, if you say, no one really wants to discuss this, but here goes. Your sexuality is pretty strong. Like, it's pretty carved in. If you're an ass guy or a boob guy, or you like the MILF stuff, or you like the Asian women, or whatever that thing is that you like. And, if you're gay, historically, you could be killed, right? I mean, it's kind of a hassle to be gay. Certainly, historically. Now, the more you know. Come on. You live in L.A. in 2020, you get some bonus points. But
not in Chechnya.
Historically, it was bad. And so if you could just not be gay, well, that would just be a better life, historically. But you can't, because it's in you. That's who you are. That's your thing. So we're trying to talk guys out of their sexuality. Like, we're going, don't do it. It's wrong. It's the wrong thing to do. We're talking about this, young kids and stuff. And sadly, I don't know that you can tell people it's wrong or you can tell people it's illegal, because you can tell people not to rob a bank and I think they'll go, okay, I like money. I like free money, but I get it. I think I can control that impulse to rob a bank. Sexuality, it's tough, man. It's how do you control it? And you have to control it like the Gestapo, man. I mean, it has to be like zero tolerance, and everyone, chemical castration or whatever we're doing, or put them in a prison and don't let them out. Pedophile, create my island for pedophiles. But it's tough, and it's weird that there's so many guys. I don't mean so many from a percentage standpoint, but there's a lot of dudes that roll this way. It's it's sad, right? And it's also, if this is your thing as a dude, you'll never have a normal life, and you will at some point undo your own life. It's got to be impossible, especially in this modern era, just to go, I like the young ones, and I will just continue unabated. Like, you're going to end up, you have to know you're going to end up in prison. I mean, that's how you know how powerful it is, because every facet of society is saying you're the worst person on the planet. Mm-hmm. And if we see you doing this, we're going to put you in prison for the rest of your life, and no one's going to feel sorry for you. And you go, I'm doing it anyway.
And terrible guys that have done the most terrible things think you're scum, and you have to be separated from them. Right.
All right. Where's that? What was that tweet? I don't know. Brian, you saw it, right?
I don't know what you're talking about.
What tweet?
That somebody just sent me a picture. I don't know. I woke up this morning. I turned on the computer, and there's like guys. This whole they did the story Brian was talking about, or I was talking about, that Brian was maybe familiar with, which is they put a sting house together and called a bunch of guys over. I don't know.
You may have gotten that directly. I didn't see it.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe you were familiar with it.
No.
I thought that was within your genre.
Yeah. It was I don't know, sting house, pedophile, rounded up a bunch of guys who answered the ad and basically showed up. All right. What else, Gina Grad?
Kylie Jenner is the highest earning celebrity of the year thanks to selling 51% of her lip kit company, Kylie Cosmetics, to a brand called Coty. Kylie tops the Forbes 2020 Celebrity 100 list with earnings of $540 million. And she happens to be the youngest and only woman in the top 10. I grabbed the top 12 because I thought 11 and 12 were very interesting. Any guesses who else is in the top dozen? Actors, athletes, everything in between.
These are earners.
For the year, right?
For the year. Well, I mean, obviously you got your Rocks and your Oprahs and your sort of perennials.
Dwayne Johnson is number 10. Oprah is not on the list.
Ooh. What's Oprah doing?
Slipped. I don't know.
Lady O's got to get out there and make some hay while the sun is shining. Stedman's got to get on her.
That's right.
What's this? You didn't crack 57 million this year? What are you? I'm at 44.9. Wow. I need a
Dear
new pair
John
of
letter.
shoes. Let's
Yeah,
get
we all
let's
need a
get
year
going.
off.
All right. What else? Yeah, tell us.
I'll
Gina.
tell you. So I'm going to go from 1 to 12 because I think that's the most interesting direction. Kylie Jenner, then Kanye West, powerful family, Roger Federer, Cristiano Ronaldo.
Is Kanye, what, is he making that much on clothing or music or what's he selling?
Oh, that's a good question, but there's a big significant drop between number 1 and number 2. Kylie's 540 million, Kanye's 170, and he's the second.
That's embarrassing. I mean, what's Thanksgiving like?
Oh, God.
Awkward.
Very. A bunch of soccer players, Lionel Messi, then Tyler Perry, Neymar, another soccer player, Howard Stern at 90 million, LeBron James at 88.2, then The Rock, then 11 and 12, Rush Limbaugh at 11 with 85 million, Ellen DeGeneres at number 12 with 84 million.
Rush Limbaugh makes 85 million and Ellen like $84 million, right? You can see why she's dancing and wanting to kind of keep that party going. Syndicated TV, man. Jesus
Crazy.
Christ.
What do they say? The mailman's your boss?
Yeah.
Just bring the checks?
Yes. Wow. That is, I don't think anyone would ever even guess that. What a time we're living in. I'm trying to think, like, Kylie seems to have had a lot of work done, right?
Mm-hmm.
She looks quite a bit different than she did.
Those
The
are
whole family, top to bottom.
Yeah, you've seen those memes with Kylie before all the work done, and it says, "You're not ugly, you're just poor."
Oh, really?
With money,
Yeah.
you really can change things up.
Well, Kendall hasn't had stuff done, though, right? She seems like the sort of
think so.
natural one of the group.
She's the statuesque runway model.
She's much
Can't fake
wafier
that.
than the rest of them. Yeah. Jesus Christ. But
Yeah.
she's oh, wait a minute. Which ones are Caitlyn's? Wait a minute.
Caitlyn's are Kendall
The younger
and
ones.
Kylie.
Kendall and Kylie. Oh,
Yeah.
man. And then, not Brody. Is Brody?
Not Rob.
Rob.
Kardashian, and then Kourtney and Kim and Khloe. I think that's the crew.
So Rob isn't a Jenner?
He's a Kardashian because his name's Rob.
Oh.
What,
It's a
isn't it?
Rob Kardashian.
Robert, yeah.
Right.
Robert
and he
was his
is,
dad.
and Brody's a Jenner.
Yes.
Brody Jenner.
Yes.
Right. And Rob and Brody can't be too far apart, though, can they? I thought Brody was older. Max
You
Bada,
tell us.
Research that. What is Rob and Brody's age? And then one of them's a Jenner and one of them's a Kardashian. Jesus Christ. It's amazing how much money that family generates.
Rob is 33. Brody's 37.
Wow.
So, wait a minute.
So Brody was obviously born before the Kardashian got together with the Jenner.
Right, but then why is it Brody Jenner? Oh, he
From
broke his
previous
previous marriage.
marriages?
Oh, he's a previous marriage guy, and then okay, sorry. Now it's all working.
All right.
I'm not good at that. My whole life,
The family tree.
I didn't know like your cousin. I'm like, okay, so that means my mom is his mom. Like, no, like I. There's so
We
many.
really are bad at this.
There's so many things I didn't learn. I didn't learn any states, any capitals, any spellings, and it took me a long time. I, to this day, do not know the short months and the long months, and I never learned any family tree stuff, or not tree stuff, but then your second,
how you're related.
Your second cousin means that your mom's cousin. I never know. I have no idea. It's my family. We didn't have uncles and family members and stuff, and I could never do the math. Yes,
it doesn't matter how many times in my life it will be explained to me before I die. I will never understand what once or twice removed means.
I don't know.
Like,
what
it's
that
your
means
second
either.
cousin twice removed. I have no idea what that means.
I thought Vince and Pat Bruno were my aunt and uncle my entire life, and they're my cousins. So I have no goddamn idea what's going on. All I know is I'm not getting left any money. That's all I know. I wish I was a Kardashian. I'd be the king of the Kardashians.
Is there a loophole where you could leave yourself some money?
How does that work?
I don't know, to your foundation or something. That'd be a nice little twist. I left myself some inheritance.
Yeah, I want to be buried in my car. I'm going old school.
Right. Or what about what's her name? The hotel heiress. No,
Helmsley?
not heiress. The what's her name?
Helmsley?
Suzanne Plachette. Thank you. Suzanne Plachette played her. Didn't she leave it all to her dog or something? Leona?
You know what? I'm going to give my family a choice. Leona Helmsley. I'm going to go, listen, I'm going to be buried in a car. Now, I'm going to give you a choice. I'm either going to be buried in my Porsche 935 that Newman drove at Le Mans, which is a very expensive car. You wouldn't want to bury it. But these are your choices. I either get buried in that car, or I get buried in a fully loaded Denali, but it's a rental. So you are going to have to pay for you are on the clock. You understand?
You're going to want the insurance.
You're going to want the insurance, but you're going to have to pay for the rest of your life for this car. But it won't be in one big lump. It's a rental. That's going to be in my will.
Monthly.
But tell Matt to put that in my will. I want to be buried in a rental car. Full size.
Willie the Wimp.
All right, what else we got, Gina Grad?
Well, speaking of sisters or cousins or who the hell knows, a flight was delayed Sunday after two female Delta passengers got into a brutal fight on the jet bridge of a terminal in LaGuardia. We have the video I'll play for you. And nobody could tell if they're either sisters or cousins, so they say. The two people involved in the fight were recorded punching each other before one of the passengers throws one on the floor. Where they continue to fight.
Going at it.
They are really I would think it's only sisters.
Jesus.
They're in good shape. Though they're definitely sisters. I don't know if they're cousins. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, actual sisters.
Yeah.
Someone's going down the jetway to try and break them up. The bystander who took the video told the Daily Mail that they are related. The police were called to the scene. The two were led away from the gate in a peaceful manner, and but the flight was 45 minutes late.
Are women fighting and or screaming at each other and or screaming at elderly couples in the street or people trying to have dinner and stuff like that? Is that up 726%?
Seems like it.
I've always said women are far more aggressive than men. They're just smaller than men. It doesn't happen as much. I've always given the example of if you step on a guy's toe, the guy goes, "Hey, watch it." You step on a woman's toe, her hand flies out. Her hand will fly out. It will hit you. Now, they're smaller. They're not going to do the damage, but they're like birds. That's why they call them birds in England. They're angry. And something has happened in the last 10 minutes where women are letting it fly. All whatever that anger was and all you don't put your hands, a lady wouldn't, it's all off. Because some of the footage I see out in the streets, the most upset and the loudest and the craziest seem to be the women.
Yeah, are we just aware of it 700% more? Because we've always thought throughout history of women as the fairer sex, but now that everyone has the smartphone in their hands, maybe we're just being exposed to what was already there.
I think that women are more aggressive than men, but it's always been kind of tamped down. We've always kind of went, a lady wouldn't, fill in blank. Everything in our society that used to be tamped down is just, we just ripped the hymen off that Pringles can. And that's where we're at now. And so the guys, and as I've said before, hey, if you're a 200-pound dude and there's another 200-pound dude, like if DrDrew and me want to scrap, we're going to have to think that somebody's orbital socket could be shattered. Like, there's going to be a couple of decent-sized dudes go at it. Someone could really seriously get injured. A couple 125-pounders go. It's a lot of hair, like pulling and tugging and kind of
pound for
tussling.
pound, it's the same injury, isn't it?
Yeah, but they never do. They don't do the damage that the dudes do. They hang on and they sort of roll around. It's not like 125-pound flyweight dudes. They grab the hair and then they sort of smack and roll around on the ground. But either way, the lid. My general synopsis is there are no rules and there is no more decorum anymore. And women who are more aggressive than men or who have hotter tempers, I think, than men do. And now I'm just going, maybe it's marginal, but I don't know. I'm trying to think. Like, I feel like most girlfriends I've had in my life have had a hotter temper than I have. Most women I know probably just they're more, why wouldn't they? They're more emotional. You know what I mean? Like, for good and for bad. That's just one side. They cry more easily. They hug babies harder, and they probably can raise their voice a little faster, too. I think that's true around my house. I don't know how you guys are at home. I don't know. How's it with Christy, Brian?
Yeah, definitely more quick to emotion. Like you said, both the hugging of the babies and, hair triggers sometimes. So, yeah, I can see that. Thankfully, she's not violent. She'd probably beat me up in my current state. Right.
But there is, how about at your house, Gina?
Well, it's funny. I was thinking about this. Growing up, I was in a house with very, very hot-tempered men, and I had to learn to be very even keel to counteract that. So I didn't know that there was another side of my personality until I became an adult. And those poor boyfriends. So but I was trained out of that, even knowing that existed because it was already so prevalent in the house. But now I've thrown a pan. Not at anyone, but just as a statement piece to the button of my sentence.
Iron skillet or Teflon style aluminum?
Teflon.
Oh, okay.
I'm not trying to kill anybody, but it was the button to my argument, I think, one time.
I like that you've taken repressed and festered and turned it into trained out of me.
Yeah, that's good.
It's an interesting twist on repressed and festered.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I've been conditioned my entire life to be the calm one, so I can do that no problem. But when I have, somebody who's as understanding and as nice as my fiance, who lets me every once in a while just whip something at a wall, then I go, okay, this is not the way to go.
I'm trying to think. My dad, you couldn't get a rise. My parents are tough to use to try to measure. My dad wouldn't do any. My dad's never lost his cool. He doesn't have a cool to lose. He's just sitting on a sofa somewhere. So my dad never raises his voice or really does anything. My mom didn't do much of it, but she was kind of an emotional mess. Like, you could get her bent out of shape pretty easily. My dad, you couldn't really bend him out of shape too easily unless you fucked with his flugelhorn, and then you unleash the beast.
Came on.
The wrath.
Right. And then my grandmother was loud as shit and kind of aggressive and everything, and my grandfather was pretty quiet. And my sister and I were probably about the same. I didn't notice a big difference there. But Natalia can definitely get Lynette from 0 to 60 real fast. Because especially that's the woman-on-woman crime there. When the daughters start getting a little older, they can bring it out fast. Anyway, let's stop putting our hands on people in public. Folks, stop punching people and stop wrestling with family members. And if you want to do it, it's called backyard wrestling. Go to your own fucking backyard. Let's not delay the flight for everybody else.
You know what I think would be fun, though? I don't know if Brian's ever had this experience. I know Adam has. I've never hit somebody or slapped anybody.
Not outside of some silly fraternity boxing.
Yeah, I'm talking like you want to.
Never I've never. Not out of anger or whatever.
I bet that's awesome.
Yeah, I never liked. I mean, not I never liked it. I wasn't good at it. I didn't. I was a good, skilled person, but I just it felt weird to try to hurt people. Or I could never, like, when you see some of that footage of, like, the guy's on the ground and he's dazed and confused, and the guy runs up and just kicks him in the face. Like, it's like, oh, like, how could you do that? Like, just run up and kick the guy in the head who's just laying there, like he's sitting on the ground disoriented. Just kick him in the head like that. The people who can do that to people, who can just come up behind him and hit him on the head with a brick, or just kick him in the head, or whether they're laying on the ground or whatever, those people are the scariest people on the planet. I've always said that. I'm not, we talked about bank robbers in the past. Like, I get bank robbery, and I get insurance fraud, and I get all that stuff. The stuff where you just clock someone in the head you've never met before, it's just has their back turned to you, or sucker punch them or something. It's so insanely evil, and you are the scariest person around, because you need no motivation and no financial incentive to just punch people or kick people. Anyway, those people frighten me. All right, what else we got, Gina Grad?
Well, speaking of scary people and scary women, we can all go as scary women this Halloween. Artist Jason Adcock created the Karen mask, a scary Karen mask complete with bob hairstyle and angry, let me speak to your manager face. We're looking at a picture of it right now. You can add a cell phone to the costume. You can dangle a mask from your ear, refusing to put it on. If you're interested in the mask, you can check out Jason's Instagram page and DM him for details. And I think this is going to be a real hot seller this year.
I like when couples are sort of put the effort in to play both sides of the equation. So if you're married, if your wife is going to go Karen, then you go Costco employee.
Beleaguered manager.
Yeah, it's like, tell them, just please put your mask on. You got to wear the vest, right? You got to wear like the Costco vest or the Trader Joe's thing. Have the clipboard. Really get into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that'd be great.
I'm always envious of the couple that does the theme, that we need each one of you in order to complete this tableau.
Yeah, it's important. Keeps couples together.
When the hell is there going to be a Halloween? There's going to be a
on
Halloween in
Saturday night.
Oh, is it on a Saturday night?
Yes.
I think Halloween's going to be regional this year.
You know what I'm going to love? I'm going to love all the build up to Halloween, where they get all the talking heads on the news, and they're going to go, it's relatively safe for your child to go door. Now, here are my tips. Make sure they stand 10 feet away, and the person who answers the door throws the Snickers bars at them. Then when you get home, get out the Lysol and wipe down all. I'm going to love all the tips and all the safety tips and how to do it responsibly and all that. Or you could fucking send the 9-year-olds to go get their fucking candy and enjoy themselves while the sun is still shining, or at least when the street lights come on, and we can get the fuck on with our lives. But there's going to be lots of safe tips for doing this. And when the hell is L.A.? Why does L.A. got to be the worst? Why does L.A. got to be the slowest and the worst and the safest? This is so tough. This is excruciating for me. I know some people probably like it in its own weird way. Some people tolerate it. This is a pipe cleaner up my fucking urethra, living in this town. It is so brutal if you're wired like me. It's insane that I ate dinner last night in a parking lot with Sonny. And I walked into the restaurant, of course, to use the bathroom or to talk to the receptionist. And it's just wide open. It's we could just sit there and eat. No. We put the AstroTurf in the parking lot. It's just fine. It's just, it's all such fucking theater. All right, one more, Gina Grad. What else?
All right. Well, Niecy Nash, I think most people know who she is. She had a little plot twist lately. She had a secret marriage.
Twist. Try twat twist. Yeah.
Still got it.
You must know the story.
I saw her twat trending. Trending twat.
She married singer Jessica Betts. She declared herself Mrs. Carol Denise Betts. That's her real name, Carol Denise. The wedding photo, we have it, shows her in a white bridal gown and Jessica's in a tux. Everybody's looking happy. Only 6 months ago, Nash finalized her divorce from Jay Tucker. Before that, she was married for 13 years to Don Nash. They have 3 kids. Niecy and Jessica Betts have known each other for at least 2 years. Jessica appeared on Niecy's Instagram with the caption, "When you get to hang out on the set with your homegirl." And now they're betrothed.
Yeah, there's hope for us all.
Yeah.
You know?
And Jessica is like that hot, like, don't care what gender you are, you're just hot type. Did you see a close-up of Jessica?
Yeah. No, I haven't seen a close-up of her, but I do think about some of my super efficient male friends, and I'm like, God, man, if we were gay, we'd take over the world right now. Imagine, this would be awesome. Just get around the gay part. But, the older I get, maybe Niecy Nash gives us all some hope. I mean, she's in a heterosexual relationship. She has sired 3 kids from that relationship, and now married to a chick dude.
It's the second act.
That's a gal. She's married to a gal, right?
Yeah.
Wearing a suit? Right. Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, maybe there's some
and
time for us.
At your age, I don't want to, I don't want to assume, but isn't it really more about companionship? You don't have to have sex with the guy.
Not only that, but we're living in a judgment-free zone, I mean, look, I go gay, I get that much closer to getting my next film into Sundance, right?
True.
This is not a burden anymore.
Far from it.
Yeah.
You know where else you're living is a giant house. You can never see each other.
Yeah. All things to fantasize about in a non-sexual but strongly emotional way.
I'm just putting this up to the camera so you can see it. That's Jessica Betts. So it's like, I don't care gender-wise.
Wow.
You're just hot. For a guy or a gal, you're hot.
Take that, Michelle Negacello.
Yeah, she's good looking.
Yeah.
How accomplished as a singer is she? Have we heard of her? Do we know what she does, Max Spanna?
I'm looking. I personally have not heard of her.
Finger popping music.
Oh yeah, stuff people can enjoy.
Yeah,
they
like to hear good music.
Well, that's why people leave the house, Chris.
Right.
I want to hear the good stuff. You know what I mean?
So I hear.
Yeah, they want to hear you experimenting with your guitar. They want to hear real music, thought out, well put together, rehearsed, finger popping. Something they can tap their foot to. Foot tapping, finger popping music. You know what I mean?
It's a good note.
Yeah. I wonder if she's covered anything. I don't even know. Is she 30? Is she 23? Is she 51?
Hard to tell.
She is good. That's a handsome lady, though.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It just says American singer, R&B soul. But this is the first I'd heard of her.
I'm seeing one site saying she's 48.
Wow. She looks good. Is Niecy Nash, what was she? She was in The View, and now
Wasn't she in Reno 911?
Oh,
Isn't she on Loveline?
Yes, probably. I can't keep track. There's way too many celebrities. When I was growing up, it was like you didn't even need to know the celebrity. You just need to be familiar. You need to be familiar with Starsky and Hutch. You need to know the $6 Million Man. You need to know Heart to Heart. You need to know maybe SWAT.
And,
Simon, and the Love Boat. And you're like, oh, yeah, there's that guy's the captain, and that's the Gopher. That's Gopher from Love Boat. And, Dukes of Hazzard. You had to know. That's it. That's all we had. And then after that, there was like sports stars. There was like O.J. Simpson and Dr. J. And then there was local news people. That's all. That's all we had. But it wasn't this whole weird strata of online and Facebook, influencers and Aaron Paul and all these names, these YouTube stars. We didn't.
You mean Logan Paul?
Logan Paul.
Aaron Paul's from Breaking Bad.
Oh, his brother. But Logan.
Isn't there another Paul?
Jake Paul.
Jake Paul. Yeah. Well, see, this is my point exactly. Too many Pauls. We had Mrs. Paul. They made fish sticks. That's all we needed. That's all. And the Gordon's fishermen. Well, those two should have a kid, right? The Gordon's fisherman and Mrs. Paul.
Delicious.
Pope John Paul.
Remember, here's how bad our childhoods were. Fish sticks were a big time treat.
Oh, big time.
Oh, yeah.
That was a big treat.
Special occasion.
I show my kids fish sticks now. They just look at me and go, "Fuck, what is this burnt offering, old man?
Is this for the dog?
You get to dip it in something. Look, the idea that you could just dip this thing into something and then eat it, that was a big old deal. All right, Gina, let's bring it home.
You got it. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news.
That was the news with Gina Grad.